everyone and welcome back to Adam's Fishing. I know it's been a long wait, but I want to get down to the lake, so I'll meet you down there and I'll explain what's been going on. Hi everyone, welcome to one of the smaller lakes on my club ticket. You'll notice I've got the head cam on, all my gear's just behind me. You might have seen me fish here before. It's been kind to me in the past and I'm really hoping it'll be kind to me again and give me a fish or two to show you guys. I'm going to get all the gear set up first and the rods ready, and then I'll have a proper chat with you. So you may have noticed I've got the rucksack with me rather than the barrow. That means I've got my lightweight gear, less to carry. The only problem is it means I haven't got my pod with me, which I wish I'd chucked in the bag, to be honest. There is room for it. Instead I've got bank sticks, so I can't really put anything on the staging there. I'm going to have to go off to the right hand side of it where there's a little bit of ground. And that's kind of the direction I want it to be casting anyway, so it should work out okay. But that's going to be my first thing, get some bank sticks in, work out where I'm going to be putting the rods and take it from there. Probably seen this before. I use a bank stick bag. I know some of you have asked why do you put a bag inside a bag? Good question. It's just because I think it keeps them a little bit safer. Not that there's anything particularly expensive in here. Just using TMC bank sticks and little NGT bite alarms, but they work fine for me. 2 rods only here, so just 2 sets needed. And in the other half of this bag are the backrests. That's all I need from that bag. Alright guys, couple of rods. Don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but I use rod bands to keep my rods together while they're in this bag. And unfortunately these old NGT ones, which have been with me for years and years and years, are just starting to wear out. The Velcro isn't really sticking properly anymore. So it's probably time I got some new rod bands. I'll probably just go for the NGT ones again because they lasted a long time and they are cheap. Well, it's simplicity itself today, and that's exactly what I need. So in this compartment of my rucksack fits my little NGT tackle box perfectly. I'm in there. Got a couple of 2.5 ounce leads, which will do a fine job of working out where I'm going to present my rigs. Then I'll get some rigs sorted, get them cast out, and then do some proper relaxing because it's been too long. Alright, no baits attached yet, but both rods are ready and raring to go. I've got both clipped up. They're both heading out that way, I suppose, towards that break in the trees you see there, but actually closer towards my bank in front of a willow tree that you can't quite see from this angle, but you'll see a little bit later on. That's what I've aimed for with both of them. I think before I clip on some baited rigs, I'm going to just have one more cast so that I can see the rings of the lead as it hits the water, and then catapult some free offerings into those rings so that I've got some bait in the right area, and then I can take my time, get some baits on some rigs, and flick those out, and hope that a technique which has worked for me before several times at this lake will work again, because I could really do with catching a carp. Bait deployed. Before I put some rigs on though, I'm just going to set my net up because I've been caught out in the past and I don't want to be caught out again, so net first, then get some baited rigs in the water, I think. Just for those who are interested, I use a Cyprinus landing net. I like it because it's quite lightweight pole, quite slim as well. But the net itself has got dual net floats on the arms of the net, which helps to stabilise it in the water. It's been doing me just fine for the last couple of years, I reckon. So yeah, nice bit of kit that. Once I'd actually had the green light to go fishing a few days ago, I made up a few rigs, in fact 10 of my lovely snowman rigs there with my barbless hooks for this lake, and hopefully they'll see me through this session. I'm sure they will. I'm going to get maybe 6 actually baited up and with some little PVA mesh bags slid down to mask the hook. 6 might seem a lot, but sometimes the action's quite thick and fast on here. I really hope it is today, but whether it is or it isn't, I'll be ready. Alright guys, I know you've probably seen it before, but there's my snowman rig. If I just put my hand there, you can see it. I use a 15mm bottom bait and a 12mm pop-up on some coated braid material here, which is just stripped back before the hook. And what I am going to do is thread on one of these mesh PVA bags all the way down the hook link, and then right at the end I'm actually going to pull, you'll hopefully be able to see this, pull the hook into the bag, and that's absolutely tangle free then, hopefully. Take an anti-tangle sleeve, tease that on, and that rig's ready to clip on and cast out. Get the rest of these done, and then I don't need to worry about fiddling around with baits for the rest of the session, hopefully. Okay, little thing I do with the rigs before I cast them out, again I'm sure you've seen before, is I'm just going to give them a good old coat with this krill flavoured glug, stinky stuff. And as you can hopefully see here, if my head cam's working properly, I've got my lead clip system, got some anti-tangle tubing there, quick change lead clip, which this rig just pops over the top of and slips in place, and I just tease the anti-tangle sleeve back so that it's all locked in position, and that's my rig. I'm going to get this one cast out. That's rod 1 out, let's do rod 2. So, it's been a while since I've been on the bank, hasn't it? I'm so sorry I've been away for so long, and it's not really through choice. My health hasn't been great. You might notice I am drenched in sweat. I'm still not at my physical best, unfortunately. I know loads of you guys like me will have your ailments and your illnesses and what have you, and sometimes it just keeps us from getting out and doing the physical things that we'd like to be doing, like fishing. I haven't been completely dormant on the fishing front. I have actually had a couple of very short sessions down at the Quiet Lake, really trying and failing, unfortunately, at that lake at the moment. I'm trying pop-up fishing there, and have done on those last couple of sessions, to see if that changes my fortune and that produces some bites. It hasn't yet, but I don't think that's necessarily the technique. It seems that there was a bit of an oxygen crash on the lake, and on my most recent session, fish on. I've been a little bit excited on the on picking up the rod there. Pulled the bank stick right out of the ground. Well, that took a long time to land a relatively small fish, but it's a lovely wild looking common, and I am absolutely over the moon to catch it. It must have been a month since I've caught a fish, and I've got one in the net. You tell how excited I was. I really snatched at that rod like it was going to go into the water. Phew, one in the net. Let me get stuff sorted and I'll show you what I've caught. Alright guys, there she is. First fish of the session, 6 or 7 pounds, a beautiful chunky common carp. Absolutely magic. It was worth the wait. Really, really chuffed to catch this one. And it's early on. I've only been fishing about 20 minutes. So let's hope I can put another one on the mat, maybe even a bigger one. Really chuffed with this anyway. Fantastic. Okay, well, just as I slipped that fish back, the other rod screamed off. A real blistering take, and I connected to a fish. It didn't feel very big, if I'm honest, but it went all over the place. It shot left, right, headed down into the reeds on my right hand side, and unfortunately it's there that it managed to shed the hook. So didn't manage to land that one, but did land that lovely 6 or 7 pound common. I'm really, really pleased with that. I'm going to get these rods both recast, and then I'll carry on chatting to you about what's been going on at the Quiet Lake. Right, so where was I? It was a welcome interruption, I have to say. Down the Quiet Lake on that most recent session, it was an overnighter, a very short overnighter, probably because I woke up in the early hours of the morning and got out of the tent to have a look at the brolly, to have a look at the lake, and the fish were all on the surface, like right up on the surface. And that's probably not that unusual for carp, but it was carp, it was pike, it was smaller fish, it was bream. It seemed the entire stock of the lake was right up on the surface and gasping for air. So I think the oxygen level in that lake had plummeted. We'd had 2 days of very, very hot weather preceding, and we'd just had some rain on the day previous. And I think something had transpired to suck the oxygen out of the water to like a really low level. So unfortunately those fish, I could tell, were not going to be feeding. They were just surviving, and it probably wouldn't have been right to keep casting at them. So I knocked it on the head that session, and wasn't that surprised that I didn't catch anything, because those fish were, I think, struggling probably through the day and through the night. So the chance of getting one were quite slim. So I haven't written off pop-up fishing on that lake. In fact, several other members of my club have told me that's definitely the way to go, and they've had most success using pop-ups there because it's such a silty lake. So I'm going to persevere with the pop-ups. I'm going to persevere with using the Ronnie rig, which I did on both sessions on both rods. So I'm really giving it a good go. Alas, it hasn't produced anything yet. I just don't think I've hit the lake at the right time in the right conditions. So I am going to keep trying. I did make some short films for both of those sessions where I blanked, and I haven't uploaded them because really not a lot happened, to be honest. So I'm instead going to put them together and little beat there, and compile them into one episode where hopefully at the end I'll actually catch one of those beautiful fish that live in that lake. As I understand it, there haven't been any fish deaths. Other anglers have been going down there since, and they've said it's been looking okay, although it's fishing hard. So hopefully the fish are recovering and they'll be all right for next time. As for now, great to be out here. So pleased to be fishing again. I'm not feeling 100% if I'm absolutely honest, but catching a fish really buoys the spirits, doesn't it? So I'm going to carry on and try and catch another one. Just water today. It's quite overcast now. Looks like we might get some rain, and I haven't brought any shelter with me, but I've got some waterproofs in my bag if it gets really bad. don't intend to be here long. It's just gone 3:30 in the afternoon now, and I'm probably going to give it until, I don't know, 7-8 o'clock, something like that. Just waiting and hoping for another bite. I didn't have to wait long for that right hand rod to rip off again, and this beautiful little scaly mirror carp is my reward. Absolutely fantastic markings on this one, incredible scale pattern, and they're in this lake like this up to about 10 pounds, so I'd really like to catch his bigger brother, but brilliant to catch this beautiful little creature nonetheless. I'm going to slip him back to where he came from and get that rig back out. Absolute magic. There he is, guys. Fish number 3, probably about 6 pounds of a nice sparsely scaled little mirror carp. Absolutely brilliant to get another one. That's 3 now in probably only an hour and a half. So really great action, that's for sure. Nothing big yet, and by big I'm talking sort of 10 pound plus would be big for this lake. But a cracking little example of a mirror carp nonetheless. And it's lovely to be getting in amongst them again after such a long break away. Slip this one back, get the rod reset, try again. Fabulous. Yeah, it's probably best fish so far this session, I would say. Let's hope that hook holds. I can bring this one to the net. Doesn't matter how big they are, I always get the shakes and the nerves during the fight. I think when you stop getting excited about it, probably time to stop fishing, but I don't see it ever happening. Just love it. This fish took on the drop again, which tells me that those mesh PVA bags dissolve almost instantly, which is interesting. You know, something to consider when I'm fishing on my other club lakes and other waters too. Ooh. For now, just going to focus on trying to slip a net under this one. Real scrapper. Wasn't to start with, but was really woken up towards the middle end and to end of this fight for sure. It's cracking. Oh, so don't want that hook to pig out. I'll be gutted. Come on. Always a bit nervy about barbless hooks, but gonna have to try and put a little bit more pressure on the fish to try and get its head up. Oh, this looks like a chance. Oh no. Oh, uh-oh. Close call with the fish swimming into the net then. Don't really like playing fish from a stage, from a stand like this, but haven't really got any option in this swim. Prefer to be a bit closer to the level of the water really, but beggars cannot be choosers. Every time I think we're getting close, she just has another kick. Every time she sees the net, she's off again. She is mine. And that is more like it. That's probably 8 or 9 pounds. I would say quite a deep fish, you can't really tell from here, but quite broad as well. Fantastic. Well guys, this is what we come for. Just exactly 9 pounds of really chunky, pristine common carp. Absolute beauty. Really buzzing to catch this one. Over the moon in fact. Great to get a decent fish on the bank. I'll show you the other side of this one. It's a really fin perfect example. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, a little flap. Sometimes find that if you cover the eye, if the fish is having a flap, it does often calm them down a little bit. And there she is, 9 pounder, absolutely brilliant. Slip her back, reset the rod, try again. Wonderful. Okay guys, I've taken to just using the GoPro now for a little bit of filming because, as you may be able to tell, the heavens have opened. It's absolutely lashing it down, as you would fully expect it to do because I haven't brought a brolly with me. But you know what, it's actually pretty refreshing. I think I've caught 4 or maybe even 5 carp in this short session, so I am a happy man, let's just say that. And that last one, you know, a 9 pound, took the bait on the drop. Just like the one before it, which was a much smaller fish, but goes to show they're well up for a feed at the moment. The conditions must be just right for them is all I can think. I've managed to get both rigs, both rods back out now. and I'm just enjoying being outdoors, to be honest with you. It's really brilliant. I will be getting back to the Quiet Lake at some point when time allows, and actually one of my fellow club members has very kindly volunteered to come down and show me a few tips and tricks, because he's had some real success there, and I think he sent me some pictures of some really nice fish that he's had as well. So I think he's got the technique just about right. I think there is a key to that place, and I think it's just a case of being able to unlock the code and do the right thing, the right tactics there. So he's provided me his mobile phone number and said, next time you're going down, give me a bell, and I'll come down and meet you there. So I will do that, and hopefully I'll catch some of it on film for you guys too, so you can see a bit of a different perspective as well. The session which I mentioned, I think on the last video, is going to be one with my mate James. We agreed that we were going to go to a day ticket fishery, not one of the club waters, and do an overnighter and have a really good go on somewhere completely different. And I think we've settled on Todber Manor, which is in Dorset. It looks awesome. Looks like there's some really lovely carp in there, as well as some pretty monstrous catfish. I might have to beef up the gear a little bit, yeah, we're just sorting out a booking, because you have to book there, get a date sorted for hopefully this month, if all goes to plan, and that'll be another adventure to catch on film as well. So exciting times ahead, and I'm still here for another hour or so, so happy days. Sorry for the awkward camera angle, but I just thought I'd give you an update about my NGT VS bite alarms. They've been going fine, and apart from the batteries draining whilst they weren't in use through lockdown, they've been doing just great. However, I haven't had them out in really wet weather, and on this session, this right hand alarm here has stopped sounding in the wet weather. I don't know if maybe when I dry it out it'll come back to life. Maybe some of you guys who own these can tell me, but at the moment it is silent, so I'm just having to watch the bobbin on that particular one. The left hand one is working okay, and just as an aside, I also picked up these, hopefully you can see here, these NGT bobbins as well. I got a set of 3, and I think the second fish that I caught here on this session, I lifted into it was the left hand rod, and the bobbin just pretty much disintegrated. The chain broke into a bazillion pieces, and the bobbin itself flew off. I think it landed in the lake, and they're not very good quality, but then they were only a couple of quid. So you know, do you buy cheap and buy twice, or do you pay a bit more and have something that's going to last a bit longer? I suppose it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, really. I think for now what I'm going to do is just replace that one, couple of quid on eBay, and if they keep disintegrating like that, then I might upgrade to something a little bit better for this particular setup. For my rod pod, or on my rod pod, I've got some JRC curve indicators and or bobbins I should say, and they're really good, really robust, so it might be the case of getting another set of them for my bank sticks. Put my teeth in for my bank stick setup. Anyway, just for those who are interested in gear and that kind of thing. No bites for the last half hour, 45 minutes. I'm gonna tough it out a bit longer in the rain, because I'd really like to catch another scaly one. Well, I was just about to call it a day, and the right hander is ripped off, and this fish has absolutely powered off for the far margin. It's just turned around now. I'm going to have to try and get some line in, because otherwise it's going to take me around these bushes. Really putting up a scrap early on. As usual, I'm terribly nervous. And as expected, it's going for the trees.
got lucky there, it just turned away, started swimming back out into open water. Looks like I've got a bite on the other rod now as well. It's really strange when the rain was really coming down, the fish just switched off. Nothing at all was happening on the lake. And now the rain has stopped, they've woken up again. Do you know, this isn't a big one, but it's really pulling. I think it's just packed full of muscle. Loosened off that clutch a little bit. I tightened it right up when the fish was swimming for the tree line, but ease off a bit now we're closer to the net. Now, you know what, it's not really a big one at all, but it's just really angry. Great to be getting a good fight anyway. I was just thinking of packing up for the day, as I really do need to get going, and it just melted off. There she is. Oh, really pulling. Okay, nearly had her that time. If I can just get her head up. Just picked up my other line. There she is. There she is. Oh, she's mine. Whew. Wow, that's exciting. Brilliant. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the last fish of the session. Not a bad one to finish on, eh? Not the biggest, but a nice looking mirror nonetheless. Do a quick bit of video to show you this one, and then I'll have to start packing all this gear up. Well everyone, what better way to finish this session than with a hard fighting, muscle packed mirror carp. Probably 7 to 8 pounds I'd say. Gave me a really good scrap this one, and a really clean looking fish once again. All the fish, bar one little scrappy common that I had, which did look a bit of a state I must say, have all been in really lovely condition like this one. So it's been a pleasure to catch them. It's been a pleasure to be out on the bank again. Brilliant to get amongst a few fish. Not the most difficult venue on my club ticket, that's for sure. But, oh, let's put her down for a second. But provided some much needed fun fishing, nevertheless. Back on the quiet lake real soon, getting some help from a new friend, and then hopefully heading off to that day ticket water that I mentioned earlier very soon as well. Absolutely brilliant, lovely way to finish. Going to slip this one back, she's been out long enough, and I'll catch up with you back at the car. Fantastic.
Well guys, I've made it back to the car. I'm absolutely soaked. I'm thoroughly exhausted, but as you can see, there's a big smile on my face because I've had an awesome session. I didn't have any particular targets in mind coming into this one. I just wanted to catch up with you guys, get on the bank and have some fun fishing, and I've done exactly that, which is brilliant, and caught some lovely carp along the way. I know I didn't catch anything massive today. There's nothing really massive swimming around in this lake, to be honest. They do go up to sort of low double figures, but I did manage to get that 9-pound common carp, which was a really lovely fish. I was really pleased with that, that's for sure. I know this isn't proper big carp hunting, you know, as we probably all aspire to, but I'm hopefully going to be back doing that pretty soon on the quiet lake and getting a bit of help along the way as well. So when you see me next, I'll either be there or maybe at this day ticket lake that my mate James has found called Toddler Manor over in Dorset. So it's a bit of a trek for me, but that sounds like a bit of fun, and just trying something new sounds like a really good thing to do. If you've joined me for this session, thanks so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure, and wherever you're doing your fishing, I wish you all the very best of luck, that's for sure. I've got to get going now. It's crikey, it's 7 o'clock. I said I'd be home by now, so I'd better put the pedal to the metal and get myself back home. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you really soon.